The forbidden border-thick red fog hung in the air like a heavy curtain. Kyle Walker, a human explorer, took slow steps through the strange jungle. His boots sank into soft, mossy ground. Tall trees with glowing blue leaves watched him silently. Every sound, every crack of a twig, made his heart beat faster. Kyle wasn't supposed to be here. This place was marked as forbidden territory on every galactic map. Warnings blinked on his wrist device. Turn back, danger. But Kyle had no choice. His team, 5 researchers, went missing 3 days ago after entering this part of the alien world, Virexa. Their signal vanished near these woods. He had to find them. As he moved deeper, the red mist got thicker. The sunlight above faded. Everything became darker, quieter. Too quiet. Suddenly, roar, roar! A loud growl echoed through the trees. Kyle froze. His hand went to the small blaster on his hip, but he didn't draw it yet. From behind the thick vines, something huge moved. The ground shook. Then she appeared. A tall, alien girl with glowing purple-blue skin rode a massive, armored beast. Her silver hair flowed behind her and her glowing eyes locked onto Kyle. She wore light battle armor, covered in tribal marks. The beast she rode looked like a cross between a bear and a reptile, horns on its head, thick claws, and shining, red eyes. She raised her staff and shouted, "You shall not pass, human." Her voice echoed like thunder. Kyle raised his hand slowly. "I'm not here to fight," he said calmly. "I'm just looking for my people." The beast growled again, stepping forward. Its breath came out in hot steam. "I don't care why. You're here," the alien girl snapped. "You entered the sacred wild. That is a crime." Kyle looked around. No signs, no borders. Just fog and trees. How was I supposed to know? The girl's eyes narrowed. All humans pretend to be innocent before they take what's not theirs. She pointed the staff forward again. The beast responded, letting out another threatening growl. One more step and it would attack. Kyle slowly backed away. "Look," he said, "I'm not like the others. I don't want war. I just want to find the missing crew. Scientists. No weapons." The girl hesitated. For a moment her gaze flickered, not with hate but with confusion, recognition. "Turn around and leave or the beast will rip your bones apart," she warned. Kyle clenched his jaw. He couldn't turn back now. The lives of his teammates depended on him, but he wasn't stupid either. "All right," he said, taking another slow step back. "But you'll regret it when this jungle swallows 5 more innocent lives." He turned and walked away. At least that's what the alien girl thought. As soon as he disappeared into the mist, Kyle crouched low and slipped behind a large tree root. He waited. The girl and her beast didn't move. Instead, she muttered something in her alien language and touched the beast's head. It growled softly and she looked toward the jungle's heart. She wasn't just guarding the border. She was protecting something. Kyle narrowed his eyes. He had a feeling the truth was bigger than a missing crew. And somehow, that alien girl looked familiar. But that was impossible. The beast and the girl, the jungle slept. But Kyle did not. He had followed the girl from a safe distance. Every time her beast's huge paw crushed a leaf, Kyle paused, hiding behind thick roots or glowing plants. The alien fog made it hard to see, but he didn't need much. Her glowing silver hair was like a light in the dark. She didn't look back, once. That made Kyle more curious. He saw her reach a broken stone wall covered in vines. She touched part of the wall, and it opened like a door. Slowly, she and her beast disappeared inside. Kyle waited a moment, then crept closer. Inside the stone wall was a hidden valley, peaceful and quiet. There were old statues, strange flowers, and giant crystal rocks glowing softly. The beast lay down, finally calm. The alien girl knelt beside it, gently rubbing its thick fur. For the first time, Kyle saw something he didn't expect. She smiled, not a cruel, proud smile like earlier, but a soft one. She whispered to the beast in her language. It licked her, hand like a pet trusting its owner. Kyle's eyes narrowed. She's not just a warrior, she cares. He pulled out a small recorder from his jacket and whispered into it. Day 4. I've followed a hostile alien rider into a hidden valley. No signs of my team yet. But the girl, she rides the beast like a queen, yet treats it like a friend. This might not be a battlefield. It might be a sanctuary. Suddenly, crack Kyle's foot slipped on a branch. The beast's ears twitched. Before Kyle could run, a powerful growl filled the valley. Too late. The girl spun around and pointed her staff. You again! The beast lunged. Kyle jumped back and rolled behind a fallen log. Wait, I didn't attack you, I just wanted answers. The girl didn't listen. The beast's mouth opened, sharp teeth ready to crush bones. Kyle pulled out a small flare gun and fired it into the air. The light flashed red and bright, blinding for a second. The beast paused. Kyle scrambled up. You really want to kill me? For crossing a line no one can even see. The girl stood still. Her face twisted in anger and confusion. You don't remember, do you? She whispered. Kyle blinked. What? The girl lowered her staff slowly. You should be dead. The beast growled low, confused, just like her. Kyle stepped closer, hands up. Who are you? She stared at him. You saved my life once. Kyle froze. What? Her voice shook. But you were older. You wore black armor. You had fire in your hands. You stopped the others from killing us. Kyle shook his head slowly. I don't remember saving anyone like you. Her face hardened again. Maybe because you forgot. But I never did. Then she turned, walked to the beast and climbed on its back. You want answers, human? She said. Kyle nodded. Then follow me. But if you lie again, I'll let the beast eat your heart. The beast growled in agreement. Kyle didn't smile. But deep inside he knew. This girl was his only lead. And maybe he wasn't just in a search mission anymore. Maybe this was personal. The secret beneath the soil. The path was narrow and twisted like a snake through the alien jungle. Kyle followed quietly behind the alien girl and her beast. Strange glowing bugs floated in the air, lighting the way. The trees above whispered with the wind as if the jungle itself was listening. Neither of them spoke, but Kyle's mind was loud. She said I saved her once, but I don't remember. Was she lying, or did something happen to my memory? He had seen war, he had served in black armor, yes, but that was years ago. Faces and places had blurred. Could she be someone from back then? Suddenly the girl stopped. She looked over her shoulder. We're here. Before them stood a small hill covered in thick vines and glowing roots. In the center of the hill was an old stone door half buried in dirt. The beast snorted and stepped back, nervous. Kyle squinted. What is this place? The girl stepped forward and placed her hand on the stone. With a soft hum, the door opened. Inside was darkness, but not empty. As they walked in, glowing lines appeared on the floor and walls. The room lit up with soft blue light, revealing walls covered in carvings, pictures of war, fire, humans, and alien beasts. Kyle's breath caught. In the center of the room stood a metal pod, not alien. Human dust covered the surface, but the words were still clear. Cryo Unit, Earth Fleet Medical, classified. Kyle stepped closer, wiping off the dust. He looked inside, and what he saw made his hands tremble. Inside the pod was a human body, in deep sleep. A man, tall, muscular, and wearing an Earth Fleet uniform, but it wasn't just anyone. It was him, his own face. Same jaw, same scar, same dog tag. Kyle stumbled back. What the hell? The alien girl looked at him. Now you understand. Kyle shook his head, eyes wide. That can't be me, I'm alive, I'm standing right here. She spoke calmly. You were injured? You were placed in the pod. This is what my people told me. That the warrior who saved me was frozen here, and that no human could be trusted again. Kyle stared at the frozen version of himself. His heart pounded. Then, who am I? The girl stepped closer. Maybe a copy, maybe a clone, maybe the one who was never meant to wake up. Kyle sank to his knees. No, this isn't possible. The beast growled low behind them. The air in the chamber felt colder now, heavy. But Kyle looked up, and something in him changed. I don't care who I was, he said slowly. I only care about the truth now. The girl blinked, surprised. He stood up and looked at her. I want to know why this pod was hidden, why no one told me, why your people fear the truth. She stared back at him. Then follow me, she said. The elders will never allow this truth to escape. Kyle narrowed his eyes. Then we won't ask for permission. The glowing walls around them started to pulse. Something had awakened. Something below the soil had heard them. And now, it was coming. Memories of another life. The ground trembled beneath their feet. Kyle and the alien girl, Zara, rushed out of the chamber as the ancient cryopod room sealed shut behind them. The glowing blue lines on the walls faded into darkness. But the questions, in Kyle's mind, only grew brighter. They stopped under the tall trees where glowing petals floated down like soft rain. The beast stood nearby, restless, sniffing the air as if sensing a threat. Kyle leaned against a tree, breathing hard. That was me inside that pod, he said in a quiet voice. But I'm standing here too. How is that even possible? Zara looked at him with strange eyes. Not angry this time, but calm, distant. You saved me when I was small. I remember it clearly. You carried me when I couldn't walk. You shielded me from the soldiers' fire. Kyle looked up slowly. I don't remember any of that. You held my hand, she continued softly. Even though I was part alien, even though others said I was impure, you didn't care. You said I was just a child. Kyle's chest tightened. He had no memory of this, but the way she spoke made something stir deep inside. I was taken away that day, she added, staring at the sky. You were wounded. I thought you died. Silence filled the jungle. Kyle finally asked, So, why did you point a staff at me when we first met? Why threaten me if you knew who I was? Zara turned slowly. Her face hardened. Because the elders told me lies. They said if I ever saw your face again, it would be a trick. Kyle frowned. A trick? They said no real human would return to this place. They said the one who saved me was long dead. So when I saw you, I thought, maybe they were right. Kyle stepped forward. But I didn't attack you. I could have run. I could have shot the beast. I didn't. She looked at him, silent. I was scared too, Kyle admitted. You riding that thing, yelling at me? I thought I was finished. A small laugh escaped her lips, quiet and dry. The first real one. Kyle smiled a little. See? I'm not so bad. The beast let out a low huff behind them, almost like it was chuckling too. Zara walked to a stone near the stream and sat down. This place was once a garden. Before the war, before the elders built walls and rules. Kyle joined her. Why do they fear humans? He asked. Zara's voice dropped. Because humans don't follow rules. They ask too many questions. They don't accept old lies. Kyle nodded slowly. Sounds about right. She stared into the water. They trained me to keep humans out. But deep inside, I always hoped one day you would come back. Kyle's heart skipped a beat. He looked at her, really looked at her. She was no longer the wild girl on a beast, shouting threats. She was someone who had waited her whole life for a memory to return. Maybe he hadn't saved just a life. Maybe he had saved a soul. Then something strange happened. Kyle's hand brushed the ground and he felt a small metal object under the soil. He dug it out. It was an old dog tag, his name, his blood type, the Earth Fleet seal. But the date, it was over 20 years old. Kyle whispered. Zara, if this is true, then I didn't just lose my memory. I lost time. Zara stood. Then it's time to take it back. She called the beast with a soft whistle. It knelt beside her. She held out her hand to Kyle. Come, we go to the elders now, you need answers. Kyle took her hand. He wasn't just a lost explorer anymore, he was something else, and someone had tried very hard to erase him. Betrayal of the elders' thunder rolled across the sky, though there were no clouds above. Kyle rode behind Zara on the beast's back as they crossed the old forest path toward the high temple of the elders. A tower carved into the mountainside, covered in vines, hidden from satellites. Only locals knew it existed. The beast growled low, uneasy. Zara noticed. They already know we're coming. Kyle gripped the edge of the beast's saddle. Let me guess. They're not going to throw us a welcome party. Zara didn't answer. She stared straight ahead, eyes cold. The moment they reached the wide stone bridge leading to the temple, the heavy doors opened. Out stepped 3 tall aliens dressed in flowing robes, with glowing staffs in hand. Their faces were aged, hard, and unwelcoming. The one in the center, Elder Rozek, squinted at Kyle. That thing should not be walking among us. Zara's voice rang clear. He has every right. Another elder hissed. You broke your oath, Zara. You left the border unguarded. You let him enter sacred ground. I followed the truth, she replied. You taught me to protect our land, but not to hide lies under it. Kyle stepped forward. You lied to her, and you lied to me. There's a pod under the soil with my face inside it. Why? What did you do to me? Rozek laughed bitterly. You were supposed to remain forgotten. Zara's eyes widened. You knew? Yes, the elder growled. You weren't the only human who walked these lands long ago, but you were the most dangerous. Kyle's hands clenched. What do you mean, dangerous? I saved her. I helped stop the war. Rozek pointed his staff at him. Exactly. You gave hope. You made others question us. We couldn't allow that. Zara stepped between them, shaking with anger. You used me, trained me to be your attack dog. You never told me he lived. You were useful that way, the elder said coldly. Fear is easier to control than hope. The beast behind them growled again, sensing its rider's fury. Kyle stepped closer. Why was I frozen? The third elder finally spoke, his voice soft but cruel. You were too brave, too curious. So we let you bleed out, then locked your body in the ground before your people found you. But something strange happened. The first elder added. You woke up. Or, another version of you did. Kyle's heart pounded. A clone? The elders looked at each other but said nothing. Zara turned to Kyle, her voice shaking. They betrayed you, and me. Then she raised her staff and pointed it at the elders. I won't let you control me anymore. Rozek's eyes narrowed. Then you are no longer one of us. At that moment, dozens of armored alien guards marched out of the shadows. They formed a circle, weapons ready. The beast roared, rising to defend its rider. Kyle pulled out his small plasma pistol, but it shook in his hand. Zara stepped beside him. You still want answers? He nodded. Then we fight our way to them. The final trial. The air burned with tension. Crackling energy buzzed as alien guards surrounded them, weapons locked, armor gleaming under the temple lights. Kyle stood beside Zara, heart pounding, breath sharp. The beast snarled beside them, teeth bared, claws digging into the stone floor. Zara looked at the elders one last time. Step aside. Elder Rozek's voice was like cold iron. No. You want truth? Then, earn it. With a sudden signal, the guards charged. Zara raised her staff and the beast roared like thunder. Kyle didn't wait. He fired his plasma pistol into the ground, sending a shockwave through the stone. The explosion made several guards fall. Back. The beast leapt, smashing into the soldiers like a living battering ram. Zara fought from its back, spinning her staff with fire-like energy. Every movement was precise, filled with rage and grace. Kyle ducked under a blade, then knocked the attacker out cold with the butt of his pistol. "Guess I still got it," he muttered. But they were outnumbered. For every guard they dropped, 2 more replaced them. Then Kyle felt a sharp sting in his leg. He looked down. A thin blade had cut him. Nothing deep, but the poison in it burned, his vision blurred. He stumbled. "Kyle!" Zara screamed. The beast howled and circled around him, defending his body as he dropped to one knee. Zara jumped off its back and ran to him. She touched his face. "Stay with me." Kyle groaned. "I'm fine, just dizzy." She pulled a vial from her belt and poured glowing blue drops onto the wound. The burning eased. "You knew this would happen," he said weakly. "I hoped it wouldn't," she whispered. Then above them, a voice boomed, "Enough!" It was not from the elders. It came from the sky. A glowing orb descended from the temple's tallest spire. It floated silently, scanning the area. All weapons stopped. All voices fell silent. The orb projected a hologram. It was a memory recording, old, dusty, and hidden from history. A younger version of Kyle appeared, standing in front of a crowd of aliens. Behind him stood a burning village. "I don't want your land," the hologram Kyle said. "I don't want your power. I just want peace between us. Help me stop the war." Then the hologram changed. It showed the elders, the same 3, ordering a secret operation to capture Kyle. "Let him bleed out. Let the jungle swallow him," said Elder Rozek in the recording. "His kindness is more dangerous than any weapon." Gasps filled the temple. Even the guards lowered their blades. Zara looked at Kyle in disbelief. They really did it. Kyle stood up slowly, pain in his leg fading. They feared the truth. Suddenly the beast growled, not at the guards, but at the elders. Elder Rozek raised his staff, panicked. "Destroy that recording!" The orb glowed brighter, then launched into the sky, sending the recording to satellites above. It could not be stopped now. Truth had wings. Kyle turned to the crowd. "Now you know I didn't come to destroy anything. I came to finish what I started years ago." Zara stepped beside him. Together. The guards looked at each other. One by one they dropped their weapons, and the elders, they ran. He has earned his place. The jungle was silent, not out of fear, but respect. The recording of Kyle's sacrifice, his plea for peace, had spread beyond the temple. It was already being broadcast across nearby alien colonies, across old, war-torn sectors, across planets where humans were still hated. And now, everything had changed. Inside the temple courtyard, the guards stood still, unsure. Some stared at the stone floor. Others looked at Kyle with eyes that no longer held anger, but confusion, regret. Zara's voice broke the silence. He saved one child 20 years ago, and the elders feared that kindness more than any weapon. Her hand rested on the beast's thick neck. "That child was me. They trained me to kill humans, while hiding the truth from my heart." Kyle didn't speak. He didn't need to. His presence said enough. Suddenly, an old figure stepped from the shadows. She was short, cloaked, and her skin shimmered like moonlight. The High Oracle, the spiritual guide of the alien people. She had not spoken in many years. Until now, her voice, though soft, echoed like wind through glass. "He has earned his place," she said, looking at Kyle. "Not because he is human, but because he is good." The temple guards fell to one knee, even the beast lowered its head. Zara stepped closer to Kyle, eyes shining. "You gave me a future I wasn't supposed to have, now I give you a choice." Kyle raised an eyebrow. "A choice?" She nodded. "You can return to your people. Let history record your name as the man who changed everything." He waited for the second option. "Or," she continued, "you can stay here. Help rebuild what they tried to bury. Be part of something new. With me." The wind moved through the trees again like a whisper from the jungle itself. Kyle looked out at the alien land. Still dangerous, still wild, but no longer hostile. His voice was quiet, but firm. "I think I've done enough running." Zara smiled. "Then stay." The beast let out a low, warm sound. Approval. Zara held out her hand. Kyle took it, not as an outsider, not as a trespasser, but as something far greater, a bridge between two worlds. Final scene. Months later, a stone statue now stood at the edge of the once forbidden border. It showed a human holding a young alien girl's hand with a great beast beside them. Visitors from both species came to see it. Children laughed and ran beneath it. Soldiers left their weapons at the base. And in the distance, a real beast walked, peacefully through the jungle, with Zara riding high and Kyle walking beside her. The legend lived on, and so did hope.